In this video, we're going to explore WilsonWeb Legal Periodicals Full Text, a Jenkins member database available to you, Jenkins members, 24/7 from your desktops at home or in the office. To access the database, mouse over Research, Member Databases, and then WilsonWeb from the list. You can see that I've already logged in with my last name and my Jenkins member number, so all I need to do to get into WilsonWeb is to click the Access button. I'll do that in a minute, but I want to show you this @Jenkins icon that is displaying on the page right here. You'll see that on the results page whenever Jenkins holds the full text of the journal either electronically or in print, and we'll see that in a minute when we get into WilsonWeb, which we're going to do now by clicking on the Access button. This is the main WilsonWeb page, and you can see it defaults to a search interface, unlike some of the other databases we've looked at via our video clips that default to an alpha list of journals. And we'll explore the search interface in a minute, but what I want to do is look at a couple of things on this page. Number one is the database description for this particular database. You can see here that it has 30 years of coverage going back to 1981. However, full text is for about 50% of the time, 95 to the present. That's a good thing to be aware of when you're doing a search, because you may be wondering why you can't get the full text of slightly older articles. And not only that, in terms of looking at the whole database, but for a specific journal title, you may want to know when the full text coverage begins. You click on that link that I just showed you there, and you can see that the full text column, which is the next to last column, is the one you're interested in this giant table. The best way to deal with this page is to use Control F in your browser to search within the page. You can see here for a federal lawyer, the full text indexing is actually November 1999 to the present. So not only does the database have a certain cutoff for full text, but each individual journal title does as well. So be aware of that and check the journal coverage link whenever you need to. Now, getting into the search interface, we're going to go not do a googly kind of simple search. We're going to click on that link there, and we're going to do a search plus, an advanced search, if you will. And I'm going to type in my query, which is software patents. And I'm not going to search all of the fields, though I could. I'm going to limit to the title field. So I select title from the list, and then I click the Start button to initiate my query. This is going to give me fewer hits than if I searched, obviously, all of the fields, and I get about 220 hits here. However, you can see from the list that not all of these results have the full text available. And if that's a big deal to me, if I really only want to read full text articles, I don't want citations or abstracts, I can go back and rerun my search. And you can see here, when I click the back button, it lost my field limit, so I got to go and re-enter that again. And then I go down to the limits portion, and I want to select full text. And when I do that, I'm going to get fewer hits, obviously, than if I just don't have that limit. So I'm going to click the appropriate checkbox, click the Start button now, and instead of getting 220 hits, I get 23, which is a lot fewer, but I definitely get the full text. Now when I scan the results page here, generally speaking, I see the full text in HTML format or the full text in PDF format. And yet some of the records in the some of the hits don't have PDF. They only have full text HTML. You can see that @Jenkins icon that I alluded to earlier. That means we have the full text of the journal either in print or electronic or both. But if I really want to ensure that I get PDFs of all the hits that I have, and here I have to reset my field limit, I'm going to select PDF as opposed to full text. I happen to like PDF. It's a lot easier to read than the full text HTML, so I use the second limit there. So now I have 19 hits, 4 fewer, and I can be sure that every one of them has a PDF. And here's the first hit. And you can see what I mean about the text being a little bit difficult to read. This is rather dense, and with my search terms highlighted, it makes it really hard to scan this. Now, it's true, I could use my browser to search the page looking for words, but it's just hard to scan, so I generally like using the PDF format. And you can see it's right there. I'm going to click the full text PDF link, and the page will load in my browser, and you can see that it looks exactly as it was published in the journal, and it's indexed, so I can highlight and copy and paste text. I can use my browser to search within the document. It's a better format to stick with, the PDF, as opposed to HTML text. All right, now I'm back to the document, and here are some little known but very useful features. If I was to pull up, say, a non-English language document, I could translate it to English, and you can see here here are the whole list of languages there. That's useful if I really want to get everything from around the world. Another thing is that I can hear the article as opposed to read it, and this is good for accessibility. I can hear the article and rather than having to read the articles, and I don't use these all the time, but it's nice to know that they're there, and they're very useful features. Another useful feature is I can email myself a document, and it will send the HTML text plus the PDF as attachments, which is, I like the way they do that. I'm not going to show you that because I think everybody's pretty comfortable with that, but just wanted to point out that those articles come as attachments. Now, the author, journal name, and then journal plus volume plus date, whatever, and subject, these are all hyperlinked. So if I, for example, wanted to broaden my search from software patents to business method patents, all I need to do is click on the subject there, and I've broadened my search. It's nice to have that available. I could also look at all the articles by the author of this particular article. It's a nice feature, and here now I've basically broadened my search to business method patents. You can see the subjects are on the left-hand side of the page there. Now, one other thing I would like to show you before this video is over is to show you that the results page defaults to relevance, but you can resort according to a number of fields including date. Now, it doesn't do it automatically like you're used to probably with other things like Amazon. You actually have to click the arrow to make it reset. But WilsonWeb is an excellent source. It has a lot of nice features that perhaps you've never used before, and it's a Jenkins member benefit.